Hello, good morning everyone who joined in virtually. I hope you are all doing great and you can hear me. You can confirm it with the chat box, or you can even unmute yourselves and tell me if you can hear me well and sound.
Can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. By names of Engineer David Bushaija. I'll be here facilitating you people virtually, but I'm here to tell you that we are going to start in 5 minutes, which means 8:12 we'll be starting.
Good morning, David.
Yes, good
Online
morning.
people. How are you, David?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
Good.
Romeo, AB, and user. Can you hear us as well? Good morning to you.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, we can hear you.
Perfect. Have you installed your softwares, Protastructure software?
So, David, they didn't install because they don't know yet how to download. Okay. So
Okay.
that's the first thing we'll start with. Okay. Can you please confirm if my screen are visible for you?
Yes, we can see it.
A physical participant as well as the online participants. So we will be having this training for 5 days about Protastructure 2025. And before we start with the training, we should all have the software. Okay, so before I do further introduction of myself and whatever, I would like you to start by installing the software. Okay, so if you go to the website of Protastructure, which is you can check it here at the top here. It is protasoftware.com. Okay. So if you go to protasoftware.com, this is the official website of Protastructure, Protasoftware. It is protasoftware.com. So after going to the website, you have to move all the way to the support. You see this support, and you will see download. Under support, you will see download. Click on download. And if you click on download, you will see this page here. We want to download the latest version of the software, which is Protastructure 2025. This one. So you will have to click just on download. Okay. So you will see the software will start downloading. Okay. So online people try to do this step so that you can get the software. So I will also copy this link for the people who are online, and I will try to paste it in the chat box, so you can even use the link in the chat box directly. Okay, so people who are online, try to download. I'm going to support also the physical participant here regarding the download, but people who are online, please do this step. Okay, Engineer David, help me with the people online. Okay, while they are downloading, I'm also going to support the physical participant for now. Hello, online people. I see some of you are done with the installation. Good. Mariana, it is done. Okay, good. So those who are done with the installation, can you check in the chat box? I have sent you the activation code. I hope you have all opened the software. So this is the first thing you will see when you open the software, but yours may be a little bit different because you have an empty area here. Okay, so it's okay. It is because it is your first time opening the software after installation. Okay, you have a challenge. Remember to change from Protastructure to academic. Protastructure. Do you have are you connected to the internet? That's why. Okay, so let's start by seeing the user interface of the software. Okay. So once you launch the software, it will open like this. Then as other softwares, Protastructure have different tabs here at the top. Okay, you see we have different tabs here. Weeding setout is one tab. Modeling is another tab. Okay, loading is another tab, and so on. Okay, so you will see that whenever you open any given tab, you will see different tools here. Okay, so the tools which are located under loading tab are different to the one located under modeling tab. Okay, are different to the ones located in weeding setout, and so on. Okay. So for now, you all know that we have different tabs, and in each tab we have different. So we will take a look at all these tools in a few minutes to come. But for now, on the left side, okay, you see that these words are somehow grayed out. They are not active. It is because we haven't yet opened a project. Okay, so I will talk about it in a few minutes. Okay, sorry, online people, it was an internet issue, but it is now fixed. I was just saying that we have two big buttons here at the top. We have open project and create a new project. Okay, so we use open project when you have any given project on your computer that you want to open. Okay, maybe you have one of the recent projects that you have worked on recently and you want to open it, then you will use open project. Okay. Then you go to new project when you want to create a new project, to start a new project from scratch, from zero. Okay, so in that case, you will use new project here. That's the two difference between these two buttons. Then here below, you will see a recent project. For you, it is empty because you have just installed the software a few minutes later. Okay, so it is still empty. But for my case, you can see that I have some project loaded here. These are the recent projects that I have worked on. So instead of going through open project and search for the project, if the project I want to open is listed on this list, it's a matter of just clicking on one of them, then it will open. Okay. Then here on this side, you see information about your licenses. It may also be empty for you because it is the first time you have opened the software. But the next time you'll be opening the software, you'll also have this kind of information. So if you have a green color here, it means your license is active. If it is red, it means you don't have any licenses. Then here below, we have software have a green color here. For my case, it is okay. So the here, okay, it is about software. Okay, I was just saying, I was just explaining this software update. So whenever you see a software update is in red color, it means you need to update. So if I click here, then it will be activated to the latest. So I have also 2025 version as you, but even though it is the latest version, there are still some updates which are coming. Okay. So you may see these numbers here, these values here. Okay, so it means the number of updates. Then here on the right side, you have resources, which is very important for you who are beginner to the software. These are just like links, okay, which can, if you click on one of these, it will direct you to the Protastructure website, where you will find some tips and tweets, where you may find training videos to the YouTube channel of the software, where you may access the help center. You remember the help center I told you in the presentation, where you can find some blogs and whatever regarding to structural topics. You can, if you click on get started, it will direct you to the guide of Protastructure and so on. So these are just links which can of the software. So that's all about the starting page of the software so far. I think there is no question so far. Let me check. A and B saying that the license section on my screen says expired. Okay, it's okay. We will modify that. Okay, so that will not affect the performance of your software. It's okay. Let it the way it is. Good. So if there is other question, let's open a new project and see all the user interface at large. Good. So to open a new project, we will not open a project here. We are going to create a new project. We are going to create a new project here. So please go to new project, click this button. If you click on it, you will have this dialog box, this one. Okay. So simply, the first thing you have to put here is the project code. The project code is just a project name. Okay, so give it a name, okay, as you wish. Okay. You will see that the space bar doesn't work. So if you have like 2 words, okay, for my case, I want to call it training Morogoro. So it is 2 words. So to put the space between training and Morogoro using the space key on your keyboard, it will not work. So if you want to put a space, you have to put this sign, the underscore. So it is acting like a space. Okay. Then here below, you'll see a list of different codes or templates. Here, you will see a list of different codes. So depending on the code you want to use in your project, you will select one of them. Okay. So for the demonstration of this training, I'm going to select the British Standard Code. If I go all the way down, I will see United Kingdom BS code. So select the United Kingdom BS code. Okay. So we started with the naming of the project. We choose the template or the code to be used. Then the last step, but don't do it for now, to be clicking on OK. But don't click on OK for now. Before clicking on OK, you will notice these two buttons here. We have template and we have project. So these templates, the one we selected from, these ones, were from the template here. But if I change and go to the project, now I will have a list of projects that I have recently worked on. For your case, it will be empty because you don't have any previous project. Okay. I was saying that when you go to template and choose one of the templates here, okay, you will create a new project which is empty, okay, but all the settings of the project, all the settings of the software will be default settings, okay. But when you go to the project here and select one of the projects that you have worked on recently, it will open a new project, but the settings will be similar to the one you used in that project. Okay, so when you want to, when the settings you are using are similar to the ones you used in a recent project, instead of using a template, having a default settings, go and change settings one by one. It will be better if you go to the project, select that project, then it will open a new project, but with the settings from the project you selected. Yeah. So for our demonstration of the training, let's go with the template because we are supposed to have no previous project. So I will choose template, United Kingdom, VS Code. Then I will click on OK. So you will just have to wait a few seconds, then a new project will be created. Okay, you see I have a new project created here. Good. So let's explore the user interface a much in a clear way. Okay, you remember all these were grayed out before we opened a new project. Now you see they are all active. All these tools are activated. Okay, because we are now inside a new project that we have created. So let's start again by the tabs that we had here. Okay, we'll start with the building setup. Okay, so under building setup, you see the new open button, save as, and then the quick starts here and the settings here. So in short, under the building setup tab, you will find mainly the tools related to the settings, okay, to the settings of the software, related to the starting actions of the software. Okay, so for instance, okay, if you go all the way here, you will see Settings Center. If you click on Settings Center, then it will open like this. Okay. So what I did, I went to the building setup all the way to setting center. Okay. If I click there once, you'll have this. So what I wanted to show you is that this is all the settings of the software are located here. Okay, so if you select one of the tab here, on the right side, you'll see the settings related to what you have selected on the left side. If I click here, you see the settings are changing. Go here, the settings are changing, and so on. Okay. So remember, all these settings for now we have here are defaults. Okay. So again, okay. Again, I will show you. We have to access the settings of the software. You have to go to the building setup, then go to the settings. Settings center. Or another way. Okay, so okay, I understand. So some of you, because you have it is because the screen of your laptops are small, so some of you have something like this. Let me try to so I was trying to make my screen a little bit bigger. So you have some of you have something like that, like this. Okay, so this is because your the screen of your laptop is small. Okay, so let's go on. I was just explaining that under the building setup tab, the main settings you found there is about the main tools will be about the settings. So we will under settings center. There is something I want you to do before we do anything else. So please open building setup and go to the settings center. Another way of accessing the settings, we have a quicker way here. We have a setting button here at the top. Again, if you click on it, it will open the settings center. So you can use this button here, or go to the building setup, then all the way to the settings center. So if you have opened the settings center, please, all of you, go to the Protastructure environment. This one here, Protastructure environment. Okay. Go to the Protastructure environment. Come here all the way down. You see here. Return license on shutdown. Are you able to see return license on shutdown? Make sure it is deactivated. Okay. Click there and make sure it is deactivated. Take a look here. Return license on shutdown. Okay, deactivated. Remove the tick. Yeah. So, have you done this? Please make sure all of you have done this. Go to the. I will repeat it again. Go to the settings. Make sure you are under Protastructure environment. Okay. In general here. Then move all the way to return license on shutdown and remove the tick. It must be deactivated. Okay. Good. So if you have made sure that it is not ticked, then you click on OK. So what we have done, okay, it means the next time we will be opening the software, it will not ask you to put again the activation code. So it means when this it is ticked, okay, the turn license is ticked, then next every time you open the software, it will ask you to put the activation code. So make sure that you have removed it so that the next time you will be closing the software and opening again, it will not ask you for the activation. Question? Okay, good. So the next tab will be modeling tab. Here, go to the modeling tab. Okay, so the concept is in the first tab we have set the settings. For our case, we only did this. But if you wanted, you would have gone under all the settings and set it the way you want. Okay, so we're not doing that for now because we are on the starting point. Okay, we will be using default settings for now, but it is supposed that after this and set all the settings as you wish. If everything is set, then we'll shift to the modeling tab. Okay, so for now, because we are beginners, let's don't change any things regarding the settings for now. Then move to the modeling tab. Okay, when you go to the modeling tab, you will find all the tools needed to model. So we are going to start drawing your frame, modeling the frame of your house. So every tools which will help you modeling, it will be found under the modeling tab. So you will see here we have how to create grids. You will see how to create columns, beams, and whatever. Okay. You will see also to create those beams and whatever for the steel part and for the concrete part. So when you will be modeling columns, beams, every member will be modeling this training. You will be using the modeling tab. Okay, so it means the next time I'll be saying that we are going to model a column, you will automatically understand that you will find the column under the modeling tab. Okay, so normally after doing the setting, after modeling your structure, you will have to go to the loading. So that's why in Protastructure the next tab is loading. Okay, under the loading now you have all the framework of your structure. Then you need to assign some loads. They will be found under loading. Okay, we will see them. You'll see how to create partition loading. We'll see how to create the slab additional dead load. All kind of loads will be to be assigned to the structure. Will be found under loading. You see the way this interface is built, it is somehow consecutive. You finish the first action, you have to go to the next one and the next one and so on. So after assigning load to the structure, we'll have a review tab. Okay. In the review tab, we find the tools which will help you to investigate your structure. Okay, before going to the analysis. Okay, maybe is there some errors that you have made while modeling, so you have to correct them before going to the analysis. That's why the next tab were the review tab. So if everything is okay, you have modeled, you have checked some modeling areas, everything is okay, you have well assigned the loads, that's when you go to the analysis tab. And under analysis tab, we will find tools which will help us carrying the analysis of our structure. Okay, you do the analysis. After doing the analysis, we see how the loads are affecting your structure. Okay, how the loads are being decomposed. Okay, from slab to beams, from beams to columns, all the way to the foundation. If everything is okay, then you go to the design. If there is something wrong with the analysis, then you have to correct it before going to the design. Then later we go to the design and we'll design all the members. Okay, we'll design all the members, columns, beam, and all the remaining members. Okay, so it means we have analyzed how the loads are affecting our member. Then we need to design the member section. Okay, how many reinforcement must be in that section so that it will be passing. So after this, the design, if the design is okay, then it will be time for drawings and reporting. Okay, now we'll start producing drawings using the Prota details and do also the calculation note reports. Okay, then this like the end of our workflow in the design, but we have four remaining tabs here. The BIM tab, you remember I have talked about the BIM integration of the software. So maybe you are done with your work, you want to share your work with external softwares, which is not Protastructure, then we'll be using this Prota BIM. You may take your model and export it to another BIM software, let's say Revit, for instance. So we'll do it from this BIM tab. You may want to export your analysis model to another structural model, let's say ETABS, for instance. So we'll be using this tab and so on. Okay, so this tab will help you to connect with other external softwares. Oh, okay, good. Okay. So online participant, here there is a question so far in the house. They are asking about this BIM as a BIM. Okay. So some of you may not are not aware of the BIM. Okay, BIM stands for Building Information Modeling. Okay, so simply BIM. Many people think that BIM is a software. BIM is not a software, but BIM, it is a workflow. Okay, people were used mainly here in Africa. Even some countries are still not aware about BIM. We are still using traditional way of designing. So if it is an architect, you have to model the architect model in one software. And when you, as a structure engineer, you are going to carry a structure design, you have to remodel again that building from the architect. If there are MEP and plumbing and the electrician who want to do some of the work, they have also to do so it is a traditional way. That's not a BIM. So doing a project in a workflow, it means when from the architect, after doing the modeling, me as a structure engineer, I will grab the model from the architect and import it into Protastructure, for instance. So I will not go and start modeling every member one by one. Just I will grab the model from the architect and I will go with the analysis and design without modeling from zero. That's a BIM workflow. If it is on the MEP side, those who are working with plumbing, HVAC, and whatever, they will grab a model from architect side, then start installing those wires and pipes and whatever. Okay, so that's a BIM workflow. So when we say that this BIM, that's what we mean. Okay, good. So maybe at the end of the training, I'll try to share to show you how you can maybe the model that will be have modeled here in Protastructure. We'll try to export it to another software so that you can see how it can be done. Okay, so coming back to our tabs here, the last three tabs here, the display tab, the view tab, and the help tab, okay, only help us dealing with the interface of the software. So under the display, you can choose which layer to turn on, which layer to turn off. Under the view, you can change. Do you want to see the 3D view or the plan view and so on? Okay. So this is the brief. In brief, I have tried to explain which tools include in each tabs here. And as long as we go with the training, you will see it much clearer. Okay. So again, the last thing I want to explain before we start modeling, it is this structure tree here. Okay, this here. So it means everything we will be modeling in our display view here, it will be also created in the structure tree. So this structure tree will help us to navigate through the project, will help us to locate our members easily. Okay, so we'll see it as we go along with the training. Yes, somehow. So the coordinates change as you move the cursor. So this the cursor, if you move it, you see here the coordinate will change. So in Protastructure, this is taken as the origin as 0, 0 coordinate. So if you move in X direction, the X coordinate will move. If you move the cursor in the Y direction, coordinate will also move. Yeah. So online, is there any questions so far? Let me check in the chat box. Okay, there is no question so far. So if you meet any questions, just feel free to type it and I will answer it. Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
I have already installed the software, but after opening it, I need to choose whether I want to try it, or if I'm a student, or if I've already purchased it.
Okay, so you will choose I have already purchased.
Okay.
And if you click on I have already purchased, the first row, you will have to select it where it is written Protastructure 2025. Click there and move down to Protastructure Academic 2025.
Yeah, done.
Okay, then I'm going to send you in the chat box the activation code that you put there, then click on activate.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, cool. So, is it Isaac? You can check in the chat box if you did the activation. Okay, good. So let's start with the modeling tab. Okay. So please go to the modeling tab. Okay. So the first thing we'll be doing is just to create axis, to create grids. Okay. So every structural member must be hosted on a grid. Okay, so we are going to start with how to create a grid in Protastructure 2025. That will be our first step. So grids are located under the modeling tab. So go to the modeling tab, you will see grids here. This icon of the first one. So in Protastructure 2025, we have like a tips or like a guide embedded in the software. So for instance, if I hover, I put my cursor over the grid command, wait a bit, few seconds, you'll have this yellow box here. So this yellow box is just giving you instruction of how to use that tool. So in a case you don't maybe remember how the steps of using any kind of command, just bring the cursor over the command or the tool here. You will have this kind of guide. Okay, so you can read the usage of how to use the tool. You will see also tips. Okay, and you will also see some tutorials videos. So if you go, for instance, all the way down, okay, where it is write and watch, I can see where it is writing insert grid. So for instance, if I click on insert grid, I will have like a tutorial, a video embedded in the software showing me how to insert a grid. Okay, so I will be demonstrating this, but maybe later on when you be practicing, if you don't remember well how a tool is used, this may be helpful. Okay, so I'm going to close this because I'm going to demonstrate how this command is used. Okay, so let's go on. Go to the modeling, click on grid. Okay, click on grids. So wait a bit. Good. So let's go. Click on grid here. Then you will have this dialog box. Okay. Then I will put it somewhere here. Yeah. So in this dialog box, it contains like properties of the command that you have selected. Okay. So again, I will repeat. I go to the modeling tab, click on grid, then you'll have this property. So let's start modeling our grid. Okay. So before I explain all these properties here, we'll start by creating one grid so that I come back and explain all these settings here. So to create a grid, it is very simple. Okay, just click the starting point. Okay, you see I still have a command of a grid. Then click the second point. Then a grid will be created. As simple as that. Okay. Click the first point, click the second point, the grid will be created. Okay. Good. Just click the starting point, click the second point, the grid will be created. Okay. Okay. I will come back on it in a few seconds. So I think everyone have managed to create just a grid like this. Okay. So let me, before going so far with explaining how to create the grids, let's start by seeing these properties here. Okay. Then the first one, it is label. Label is just the naming of the grid. Okay. So if here I put, let's say 4 and create a grid here, it will be named the grid 4. So it is just the name of the grid. Okay. Then we have the second option, which is visible in current story. Okay. You know, what we are doing here, we are creating it on the story 1 plan. If you check here, it is on story 1 plan. But in the coming session, we'll see how to create other stories, because we will be working with a multi-story building. So in a case you have other stories and you don't want these grid to not be visible in the current story, the story which is activated, then I will have to activate this. Okay? To show you the difference, take a look at this grid here. For now, it is in a blue color, if I can say. But if I select it, okay, and click on visible in current story, you see now it is in a blue color. But if I go back here and deactivate this visible in the current story, click on update. Okay, so just see the difference. You see now it is no longer in a blue color. It's like it is hidden somehow. It is not visible in this story. Okay, good. So depending on the project we are working on, you may want to some grid to be somehow hidden in the current story. Maybe you have created those grids just as a reference. Okay, so you don't want them to appear as after you do a printout of the document. So in that case, you can use this command. Okay. So how to get the properties of this? So we have 2 different ways. You can select the grid. Okay. Right click. If you right click, you will see properties. Yeah, properties. If I click on properties, then the properties of this grid will appear. I will repeat it. Select a grid, right click, then go to property. Okay. This is the first way. I will show you another way. So I will try to show you different ways. So you will choose the easiest one for you. Okay. Another way is just to select the grid. Then here at the top, you see property. This property will appear only after selecting a grid. First of all, select a grid. Then you see property here. If you click on property, then again it will open. This is the second way of opening a property of a given axis. Okay. The third way, which me personally I do prefer, okay, instead of going through all these maneuvers, I have to just double click. So I will hover over this, double click, then automatically it will open. Okay. So those are 3 ways of opening a property of an axis or even any other member. So you will choose the one which is easier for you. Okay. So let's go on with this explanation of the settings here. The next one will be the length and the angle. Okay. So this length and the angle, you cannot change it through here. It's just like a source of information giving you the measurements. This length means it is the length from this point all the way to the point of my axis. Okay. For example, if I open the property of another axis here, you see that the number are different. So these numbers are fed automatically after you create an axis. Okay. Good. So don't bother yourself about this kind of information. I will show you how you can manipulate the length of your axis given the end. Okay. Then this is very important, the insertion method. This insertion method, we have 3 different types. The first one is a straight one or a single segment axis. The middle one is the multi-segment, and the last one is the curved one. So this will help us to create different type of axis. Take a look here. I'll give you a minute to practice. Just follow first. If I come here, select the grid, I have to determine which grid I want to create. The first one will be a single segment. It means when I click on the starting point, click on the ending point, the command will automatically be finished. So it is a straight axis. Okay. But if I use the middle, the multi-segment, okay, so it means I will click the starting point, the second point. You see, I still have the axis activated. I can continue, okay, create many segments as I want. So if I want to end the command, somewhere, instead of a left click, I will right click, okay. After creating segment, click enter, and the multi-segment will be created. Okay, so you have seen the difference between the first one, single segment, and the one which is a multi-segment. Then the last one, the third box, is curved axis. So if I activate this, I would have to take the first point, select the second point, then define the length of curvature. This is distance from here all the way to where the is it upward, is it downward? Okay, then I will click. Then I will be able to create a curved axis. I will repeat it. Click first point, second point, then define this length here. Okay, so those are the three main option insertion method we have when we are modeling axis. Okay, so take like 2 minutes to explore on your computer. Try to draw the axis using these three options so that you can see the difference between the segment, single segment and multi-segment and the curved axis. So please do it on your computers. Let's take 2 minutes, then I will continue explaining the remaining properties. Can you try? Okay, so if you have a problem, online people, write it in the chat box. For the physical participant, I will be happy to assist you. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. There is no question so far. So the next thing I want to show you regarding the axis before we go on with the remaining properties here. After selecting the type of axis you want to insert, I will try to zoom. I will select point. Okay. So you see, if I start moving my cursor, I have some numbers which are appearing. Okay. We have the L, which means the length of the axis, and we have degrees, which is the angle of the axis. Okay. You see those numbers, so you can change those numbers so that you can insert a precise length and degree. So if you want to put a precise length, how do you do it? After selecting the grid, selecting the insertion here, select the first point. Before selecting the second point, you'll click on tab key on your keyboard. So if you click on tab, okay, not tab, F2 on your keyboard. If you click on F2 on your keyboard, then the arm of and then you can tap it manually using of your computer. Okay. Click on F2. If F2 doesn't work, it means depending on the arrangement of your computer, maybe you must take the function key command before pressing F2. Okay. Sorry. Okay, can you try? So place F2 on your keyboard, then be able to add the value of the length. If you want to change from the length to the degrees, to the angle, then you have to click tab. Okay, then if you click on tab, then you will have also the value to put the degrees, then enter, then your grid will be created. So right. And participant, if there are any question, let me check. Good. No questions so far. Okay, good. So let's go on. I will repeat this last action that I demonstrated. So after choosing the grid, okay, then you have to select the first point. If you want to control the length of the axis, just place F2 on your keyboard, put the length that you want. Okay, if you want to shift from the length input to the angle, click on tab on your keyboard. You see the tab shift between the angle and the length. Okay, then also put the value of the angle, maybe let's say 0, and click on enter, then it will be created. Okay, another thing, okay, most of the time we are not concerned with the length of the axis, but we have to be precise with the angle. Okay, so if you want to draw a straight, okay, a straight horizontal axis, but which have 0 degrees, so you have to keep in mind that in Protastructure we are always measuring degrees, taking the x-axis, the horizontal axis, as the reference. Okay, and we measure the angle in anti-clockwise direction. So in anti-clockwise direction, it is the positive direction. So if I click here, it will be 0. So starting all the way like this, going in anti-clockwise direction, it will be in positive directions. So if I go all the way down, it means in clockwise direction, I will have a minus, a negative now. Okay. So if you want to draw a straight axis, instead of using this F2 and going change to the angle to 0, you can hold down the control key. If you hold down the control key, now you are sure that this axis is straight to the horizontal axis. If you want to create a vertical one, in order to make sure that it is well aligned in 90 degree, okay, you have to hold down the control key. So if you hold down control key, now it will be straight. If you don't hold control key, you may think that it is straight, but there may be some angle. For instance, let's take like this. If I try to zoom or open its property, you see now it is not exactly 90 degree. It was almost 90 degrees. So to make sure that you want to create a very straight one, click the first point, hold down the control key, then click, and now you'll be sure it is 90 degrees. Or if you are creating an horizontal one, now you'll be sure that the angle here is 0. Okay. So this scenario applies when you are also modeling the curved axis. You remember, you curve the axis, you have to click the first point, the second point, and then define this length. So by defining this length, you may place F2 on your keyboard, okay, so that you can put the exact value of this length here. Okay, so you can put the exact value using F2 on your keyboard. So try it. Different kinds of grids. Let's take like around 3 minutes. Then I will go on and finish the remaining properties here of the grids. Take like 3 minutes and try to go through regarding grid, and then I will explain the main property. Remember, if you have a question, type it in the chat box, and I will be here to answer all your questions. Okay, so let's go on. On 9 people, there is no question. The house, there is no question. So let's. So let's see the remaining properties here. Okay. So this icon here is about the bubble head of your axis. Okay. So this, for my case now, you see I can see the bottom bubble and the upward here. But if I click on this icon here, click once, okay, and update. So please, please, engineers, whenever you do some changes in the settings, you have always to update. Okay. So if I click on update, now see my grid have only the bottom one. The up bubble have been disappeared. So if I click on this bubble again and update, now I have chosen to remove both heads. Okay. So you can put or choose which one you want to remove. So these parameter here control the heads of the axis. Okay. The next parameter is to hide the axis. So in this case, if you click on hide an axis, okay, and update, you see again it will be grayed out, almost invisible, if I can say. So the difference between the difference between this hide the axis, visible and current. So if you hide using visible and current story, the axis will be only hidden only in that story only. Okay, but when you choose hide axis, you hide axis, then the axis will be hidden in all stories. Okay, and even you go to the detail when creating detailing, that axis will not be visible. So whenever maybe you are using an axis as a reference, okay, you can hide it, and then it will not be visible in all stories. Okay, so this extension length, I will talk about extension length in a few minutes to come, when we'll be seeing on how to work with orthogonal axis. Okay, I will come back on this. This direction 1 and direction 2, what you have to know, okay, in Protastructure, always direction 1 is the horizontal direction, the x-axis, the x direction. In the y direction, the vertical one is direction 2. Okay, is in direction 2. So please keep that in mind. regarding the direction 1 and direction 2, because we'll be meeting with it every time. And also remember, regarding the angles, we are measuring angles, taking the horizontal axis as a reference at 0. Then we measure in anti-clockwise direction. It means that clockwise direction, you have a positive value. When you go in clockwise direction, you have a negative value. Okay. So that's it about these settings here. We have covered all these properties here. We have seen how to model a single segment axis like this one, a multi-segment axis like this one, also a curved axis like this one, using precision. Okay. So if you want to delete an axis, you can select it, right click, then you'll see a delete button. That's one way. Second way is just to select it. By selecting it, you will see a delete button here. You can use that. That's another way. The third one is just selecting a grid, then click delete key on your keyboard. Using a delete key on your keyboard, then it will be deleted as well. Okay. So if you want to delete multiple axes at a single time, you may select using a drag like this. If they are selected, then you can delete using your keyboard or by using this delete here. Click on delete. Then you will have this like pop-up showing that you are going to delete the axis. Click OK. They will be deleted. Okay. So for now, I will be deleting all the axes that I have, so that we can see how we can modify now an axis. So we have seen how to draw it initially. Now we are about to see how to modify an existing axis. So if there is no question so far, then I will proceed and show you how you can modify an axis. Okay, so how to modify an axis. So I will create an axis first. Let's say I have an axis here. Then I want to do some modification to this axis. There are a lot of modifying tools of an axis. So we're going to see them one by one. The first one, to access those modifying tools, we have again two options. If you select an axis and right click, okay, you will see these commands here: from offset, move, rotate, stretch, and whatever. These are the modifying tools I was talking about. Okay. This is the first way of accessing them. Just select, right click, you see all those axes. All those commands. Another way, only by selecting an axis. By selecting an axis once, you will see those commands here. They are available here. So either you can use this one here, or you can right click and access them through this contextual. Okay. So let's go on and explore. The first one is the offset axis. Okay. If you click on offset axis, now you have this second axis. Do you want to offset on the right side or on the left side? Yeah. You can use these values to know the exact length you are offsetting. If you want to type them manually, remember it is the same. Press on F2, then you will have the option to to put the distance between those two axes. Okay, so maybe I will put 5 meters. Remember, we are working in millimeters, so if I put 5 meters, it will be 5,000. Click enter, then the second axis will be created, and you'll see that it will be named as axis B because the first one was A. Automatically, it will be named as axis B, but I still have the command. So if I want to create the axis C, which is also 5 meters away, the matter of clicking, I will still have a command activated and so on. So if I want to terminate the command, just click on escape on your keyboard, then the command will be terminated. Now I have created 3 axes having a distance of 5 meters, 5 meters. Good. So this was the first command, which was offset. But here there is a trick. I will try to offset again. Okay. So instead of offsetting an axis on the right side by 5 meters, I will offset on the left side. Okay. Maybe 2 meters on the left side. So in this case, this is very, very important. In this case, if I click on F2, instead of putting 2 meters, I will put negative 2 meters. Okay, because we are going to the left side. Okay, I will have to put negative 2 meters. So I will have to put negative 2 meters, then click on enter, then it will be offsetted like this. So when you are going to the left, it is a negative side. When you are going to the right, it will be a positive value. The same applies when you are going up or down. Okay, moving upward, it is a positive value. Moving downward, it will be a negative value. You have to keep that in mind. Okay. That was the first command, modifying tone of offsetting. Okay. I'm not afraid to Okay, so let's go on and see the next one. Is there question online? Okay, no questions so far. So let's go on and see the next commands. If I select any given axis again, okay, just by selecting, I can see the move command here at the top, move. Or if I right click, I will see the move command again. So I can use one of these. So after clicking on move, okay, then I will have to move. It works like almost like the offset command. The difference is that whenever you move an axis, it doesn't leave a copy from the starting point. So that's the only difference. Good. That's the only difference. So you can also try moving axis. Select axis, move, then define the length. If it is on the right side, it will be positive. If it is on the left side, it will be negative value. Good. Yes. So the next command will be rotating the axis. So again, select the axis, take the rotate command. Okay. After clicking on rotate, you have to pick the base point, okay, of the rotation of your axis. So I will pick maybe this as the base. I will click once, then I can start rotating. You see, I can rotate as I wish. Okay. If I click here, then the axis will be rotated. Or we can place again F2 and fill the value. Okay, so try the rotation, and if it fades, let me know. Good. So the next command will be stretching axis. So if you click on one of the axes, then you see stretch axis. Okay, so the stretch axis is just to elongate or shorten the length of the axis. So take the command, select the end where I want to stretch, this end for instance. So if I go down here, it will be shortened, or if I stretch by going up, it will be elongated like that. Okay. Good. This is applicable even if you select two axes at a single time. If you select them, click on stretch, it can automatically stretch two axes or multiple axes at a time, instead of stretching one by one. Okay. Try the stretch. Is it okay? Can we move to the next one? The next one is stretch axis to member insertion. This will not work for now, because to use this command, you have to have some members, maybe column or whatever place. We are not yet there, so we'll skip it for now. Stretch axis to boundary. This is the same, but this can work. Let's have something like maybe something like this. Okay, so I have a member like this. I have, a grid like this. So I want to stretch this grid, so that this end will come and end here. So instead of stretching it manually by like dragging, I can select this and stretch axis to boundary. Okay, then I have to define that boundary that I want to have. The boundary will be maybe this line here. Then automatically you see the E axis have been stretched all the way to here. So I will repeat it again. I will do undo. I want to stretch this axis E all the way to this axis A. So instead of doing manually by selecting, going stretch and dragging like this manually, I can do it using this stretch axis to boundary. So what I have to do is just select this axis E. Okay, sorry, select it, take the command stretch axis to boundary. Okay, then I have to draw that boundary. Okay, the boundary is this one from this point to this point. Okay, then automatically it will be stretched all the way to that boundary. Good. So, if it is okay, the last one was edit access endpoint. We'll see it again later. This one. So those was the main modifying tools that we will be using here. Okay. So, is there any issue, any question regarding the modeling of axis so far? Either modeling the straight one, a curved axis, a segmented, modifying. Okay. Is there any question before we proceed? Online, are we still together?
For me, it's okay.
Okay, good. How about others?
Yeah.
If I don't see questions in the chat box.
But my problem is that I haven't received the software. So that is...
Gilbert. Gilbert, you were a bit late. Maybe one of my colleagues will send you a link where you can download. David, can you please assist?
Yes.
Okay, good.
You have, dear Gilbert, check your DM, your direct message on this chat box.
Okay, I'll check.
Okay, good. I see you have other participants. Not. Daddy, are you there? Daddy, are you with us?
Hey Gilbert, have you received it? Also, is there anyone who haven't downloaded?
Yes, please. Yes, please. I've received it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. I take this opportunity that if there's any other person who have not yet downloaded or installed the software in their PC, maybe I would like to help you so that we can learn while using the software as the instructor is guiding.
Can you maybe people online in the physical one participant, can you try to do a simple things like this? Okay, can you try? So you will create this kind of grid system. Okay, it is just an exercise, and I want every one of you to do something similar. Okay, it is very easy. Okay, so in this direction here, we have width from A to 4, and the distance between these grids are 3 meters. 3 meters, 3 meters, 3 meters. These vertical ones we have from A, B, C, D, all the way to E, with the distance of 2 meters, 2 meters. Then we have this curved axis here, with this length to be also 2 meters. So let's suppose we have a grid system which is looking like this. So from the concept that we have learned, can you try? It will just help you to know where you are standing regarding the concept that we have learned so far. So please try. So please try. So online people, have you managed to do this exercise? Were you able to model all these kind of axis?
Yes.
Okay. Good, Romeo, yes. Anyone else? Good, okay. That's fantastic. So Now I can confirm that we are together. If there is someone who's left behind, please feel free to ask. Okay, good. So let's go with the last things that I want to show you regarding the grid before we go for the break. So you saw that it was not complicated to create this kind of grids, but I have realized that most of you it took you longer than necessary, because you were using like a manual way of modeling these axes, which we have seen in a few minutes. So what you did, you created the first axis, and then you went and they tried to offset, like it was 2 meters, I think. Then you offset it like this, then you drew something like this and you offset it, and so on. So that's how you did, and it was good. That's what I wanted to do. But I want to show you that there is an easiest way of doing of creating this kind of axis. So instead of using a grid axis, the one that we have learned, we are going to see how to create orthogonal axis generator. Our axis using orthogonal axis generator. So this command will allow you to create a set of axes with a single click. Okay. So how is it used? So you have to go under modeling, select the command orthogonal axis generator. After selecting it, okay, you have to bring your cursor in the display and click somewhere you want. Okay, maybe at this point I'm going to click here. If you click somewhere, then you'll have a table. Okay, so I'm going to explain this table so that you can understand what is behind the orthogonal axis generator. So I will start with this part, the grid insertion. Okay, so you will see under reference point you have X and Y. Okay, X and Y. These values, you have X here and you have Y. So this reference is the coordinate of the point where you clicked. You remember? I will start again. After selecting the orthogonal axis generator, there is somewhere I clicked this point where I am clicking here. The coordinate of this point where I will be clicking, taking this as origin, so I will have X value and I will have Y value. So this point have X and Y value. So those values are the ones which are shown, which are displayed here. Okay, so that's the simple meaning of this. This insertion angle, I will demonstrate it in a few minutes. So whenever you have this table, you have to take into account these parameters of direction 1 and the below parameters of direction 2. You remember I have told you that always direction 1 is the x-axis, the horizontal. Direction 2 is the vertical axis. It means the settings that I will be working here will be for direction 1, which is these axes which are in x direction like this. Then when I will be setting the parameters of direction 2, I will be working on these which are vertical. Great. So I will try to zoom this again and repeat so that it will be much clear. So I want to drag this almost here. So you see direction 1 here I have numbers. Okay. Then direction 2 I have letters. You see, because this A, B, C, D, and so on. So these are letters 1, 2, 3. So these are numbers. What I have to do under the direction 1, it means these which are horizontal. Under axis label, I have to put numbers. So I will put 1 instead of A. Okay, under label. Please follow here. Okay, then the next one is the spacing. I'm going first to work on the direction 1 only. So direction 1, the label will be 1 to mean numbers. Okay, then I have put it 1 to mean numbers. Then I have the next point, which is axis spacing. So it means the distance between one axis and another. Okay, so I will come back on step. Okay, axis spacing. So from axis 1 to axis 2, have 3 meters. So I have to put 3 meters, which is 3000 millimeters. Okay, then I will put comma. Okay, then they put the next distance, which is 3 meters. Again, I will put the comma and put the last spacing here, which is 3 meters. Okay. So I can use this as a axis spacing. So I put the first spacing, a comma, the second one, comma, till the last one. Another way of writing this, because all the spacings are equal, instead of writing spacing, comma, I can write 3000 to mean 3 meters. Then I will put this sign of multiply. Then I will put 3, meaning it is 3 spacing and 3 span, which have 3 meters, 3 meters, 3. You have 5. Yes, if you have 5, and so on. So you can write like this, or you can decide to write comma and so on. It's up to you. Okay. So for now, leave the axis extension length. I mean, by default, it is 2 meters. This axis extension length, it means, look here, it is the distance from here all the way to where the first grid is starting. So this is the extension length, this one. So by default, it is 2 meters. If you want to increase or decrease, it's up to you. Okay, but 2 meters is okay. I will leave it the way it is. Okay. Now here, the last one is the step. By default step, it is 1. 1 means 1. 1 means what? Okay. Because you remember, we are working with numbers. So if the step is 1, it means the first axis will be named as 1. The following one will be named as 2, 3, and so on. But if you put step as 2, so it means the first one will be 1, the next one will be 3, 5, and so on. So that's the step. Okay. So I will leave it as 1 because I want my grid to be consecutive in numbering. So I'm done with direction 1. So I'll go for the direction 2. This direction 2, I want letters. So under axis label, I will put A to mean I want letters. Then I will put the spacing. The spacing were 2 meters with 4 span. So I will put 2000 times 4. Extension length, I will leave it. Step, I will leave it. Okay, so if I'm done with this, if I click on OK, take a look, I will have a grid system like this one. Okay. Yes. So I have all the grids. The remaining one, it is the curved one. So when you are using orthogonal axis generator, you are able to create only the vertical and the horizontal one. So you cannot create curved. So, but it have facilitated me to draw this with precision and very fast. What I can do is just come here, take the grid, take it as curved, then I can draw the last one, which had 2 meters, F2 2 meters. So like this. So to still have this extension length, okay, I can also select all these grid, then stretch them so that I can have Okay. Good. So in this case, you see, I have created something similar to this, but using this kind of method, it is much quicker. So to do it very well, I can also stretch this axis here, so that it may look exactly like the one I had here. Okay. So using this method, I think it is much quicker than the previous one. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with creating those kind of grids axis, you may use a orthogonal axis generator or this independent grid, depending on the result you want to achieve. Okay. The last thing I can tell you about this orthogonal axis generator, you remember when we have skipped this angle? Okay, so for the angle, if I put like, let's say 45 degrees and click on OK, you see it creates the axis but with the inclination of 45 degrees. Okay, if okay. So if you are working with this orthogonal axis generator, but you know always the distance are not equal between axes, so you have to put them here manually. Okay, so like the first one is 3 meters. Maybe the second spacing is 2 meters. Okay. The next one maybe it is 4 meters, and so on. And you can come here and do the same. This time, if you click on OK, you see the spacing between these grids are different. Okay, the first one it was 3 meters, 2 meters, then last one 4 meters. That's how to see the not exactly the same. Good. Yeah. Any question online? Any see on the chat box? I don't see any questions so far. In the house, is there any question? Okay, no question so far. So if there is no question online, hey, Romeo, Isaac, Mariana, is everything okay before you go to the break?
My side is okay.
Okay, good. How about others? Isaac's side is okay. How about others? Romeo, how about you? Okay, good. AB is okay. Mariana, good. Romeo is good, okay. Daddy as well. Good. So if everything is okay now, let's have a break. Then we'll be having a break of 1 hour. That means we'll come here at 2:15. Then we will go on and see the remaining content of today's training. Thank you, and let's have a break. So, online people, are you ready? Can we resume the training? Okay, good. I can see the confirmation from AD. How about others? Are you there? Okay, good. Thank you for your feedback, Daddy. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, so for now we are aware about the modeling of grids. Okay, either it is using this grid command here or using orthogonal axis generator. So you are already aware of how to create such kind of grids. So let's go on and start modeling some elements, some structural elements. Okay, so it is possible, but you do it in Prota detail. Yeah. So here in class, they were asking, is there a way of changing this axis? The appearance not to be a dotted line, maybe be one continuous line. Yes, it's possible. I will show you it when we live in Prota details. Okay, but it is possible. So let's go on and start modeling. So we are going to start modeling starting by column. Okay. So after modeling the grids, the next one is to be the column. So as we have explained earlier, when we want to do a modeling, you have to go to the modeling tab. So if I want to model a column, I must make sure that first of all I'm in the modeling tab. So you have covered these both. Then the remaining, the next commands here, these draw commands are used just to draw lines. Okay, you may draw a polyline, you may draw a circle, an arc. For instance, if I click on a circle, see it is just a line that I'm drawing. Or I can draw a polyline like so. Okay, you can draw a rectangle. Those are just lines. Okay, if we will see the use of lines, but just for now, know that if you want to draw any type of lines, you may use these commands here. So for now, I'm just going to delete this. Okay, we will see the use of drawing of those lines in the coming sessions. So for now, we are interested with the columns. Okay, as I have shown you in the presentation that I did, Protastructure have the ability to model either the reinforced concrete member or the steel members. Okay, so whenever you will be modeling a reinforced concrete member, you will be using these tools here. Okay, these ones here, which are under the reinforced concrete members panel. If you want to model a steel member, then you use this side here, those one here, which are under the steel members panel. So for example, if I want to model a reinforced concrete column, I will use this tool. If I want to model a steel column, in that case I will have to use this one. Okay, so they are different. So for our case, we are only concerned with the reinforced concrete members, so we'll be using only these tools here. Okay, so let's start with the column. So, as usual, if you hover your cursor to the column, you will see this yellow dialog box showing you how you can use this command the tips within the command, even the video tutorials here at the bottom. For instance, if I click on start column eccentricity, then you see how to insert those column eccentricity. So I will close this because I'm going to demonstrate everything. Okay, it was just a reminder that in case you don't remember how to use the tool, you still have these available tips. So let's go on and select the column. Again, we will have a property for columns. Okay, you remember even for the grids we had something like this. So each command will be selecting in Protastructure, it will bring this property dialog box. Okay. So again, as we did for the grids, I'm going first of all to show you how to place column. Then later on, I will go through all these settings and explain everything here. So if I want to place column, it is very, very simple because Protastructure is it has a very user-friendly interface. Just by selecting column, okay, then you have to do some modification in the properties as you wish. If everything is okay on this side, then you will come to the intersection axis. So whenever you go to the intersection of axis, you can see the preview of the column. So if I come to the intersection, click once, left click, the column will be placed. As simple as that. Okay. So you cannot place, you see this is an axis, you cannot place a column somewhere here. So to place a column, you must have always the intersection of at least minimum 2 grids. Okay. So if I try to place a column here, it will not be placed. But because this is an intersection here, if I place, it will be placed. Okay. As simple as that. Place at every intersection where you want to put the columns, of course. Okay. A very tips here. Suppose that let's say on all these intersections here, okay, here and here below this intersection, we have all columns here. So instead of placing one by one, okay, I can just drag and hover over the intersection. Okay, maybe this one only. It means column will be placed on these intersections. Okay, so drag, release, then column will be placed. Release or the intersection where you want to place a column, release, then the column will be placed. Okay, so if you are modeling a big project, instead of placing one by one, you can hover the intersection where you want to place column, then column will be placed all over the intersections. Okay. Then if I close this, to delete a column, it is like on axis, you can select, right click, then delete. This is the one option. You can select and you see the delete here at the top. Or you can select and delete using your keyboard as we did for the grid. Okay. Another option, you can select multiple. For instance, if I select this and I want to select this as well as an addition, you have to hold down the control key and select. Now you see that these two are selected. If I want to add another one here, hold down the control key, select, and then now these three are selected. And I can delete using the key. Okay. Like in AutoCAD, when you are selecting using this drag command here, selecting from right to left is different from selecting from left to right. Like those who are familiar with AutoCAD, we saw that here we have many attendees who are familiar with AutoCAD. So, for instance, if I select like this from left to right, so I have to cover the entire portion of the column to be selected like this. Let me do an example for this. I have to select all the column. Okay, to be selected. If I select only a portion of a column, it will not be selected. But if I select from right to left, only by touching one corner of the column is enough to select the column. So it means if I select like this, only column will be selected, but none of the grid will be selected. Okay, but if I select from here all the way here, columns and axis grid will all be selected. Okay, so you must be aware of that. So if I want to select all these columns, I can do like this, then delete and delete. Okay, so that's how you can place simply a column and how you can delete column on that in your model, right? So if placing column is okay, now let's see all the settings, the properties of a column. So I will again take the column command. Now we are going to see all these settings here. The first one is the label. Okay, the label, you are already familiar with labeling. It means the name of a column. So the first one, if I place a column, it will be named as 1C1. Okay, so for instance, if I come here and place a column, the name of the column is 1C1. Okay, what does this mean? The first one, the number one here, the front, it means that we are on story 1. Okay, the letter C means that it is a column. Okay, it is the abbreviation of column. So when we will be modeling, for instance, let's say BIM, it will be B instead of C. Then the one on the right side, this one, it means it is the first column on story 1. Okay, so if I place another one, it will be named as 1C2. It means the story is still 1, but this is the second column. This was the first, this was the second. And then in parentheses, we'll have the cross section of the column. Okay, which means we have 500 by 250. So this is the labeling. So whenever you see this label, just know that it's naming, and as long as you are placing column, this labeling 2, 3, 4 will be updated automatically. So the second parameter, which is LN story, the length of story, okay, by default is 1. Let it be 1. We will come back on this when we'll be working on multi-story, when we'll be after creating other stories. Okay, I will come back on this, on the use of this LN story. Then the next parameter, we have B1 and B2. These B1 and B2 are just the cross section of the column. So you remember 1, I told you is always in a horizontal direction. It means it is the cross section of the column in horizontal direction. You see, it is 500. That's why in this direction we have 500, and B2, which is direction 2, it is 250. So if I put B1 to be 250 and the direction B2 to be 500, now you see the preview of the column, how it is looking. It means in direction 1 we have only 250, in direction 2 we have 500, which is the inverse of what we had before. Okay, so now you understand B1 and B2. Good. So let's take a look at the E1 and E2. E1 and E2 here stand for eccentricity. So we have eccentricity in horizontal direction, we have eccentricity in vertical direction. Okay. So to demonstrate this, I will use this column here. So you can see that it is placed with the centroid in the middle of the column, which means we don't have any eccentricity. But if I go in eccentricity 1, you remember it is on horizontal direction. If I put like, let's say 50 and update, you see how the column have moved to the right. So I have applied eccentricity. So it means the center of the column is no longer in the intersection of the grids because I have applied eccentricity. So if you see that the column have moved to the right. So if I wanted to move the column to the left with eccentricity of 50, then in that case, you remember I have to put a negative sign because I'm moving to the left. The eccentricity, depending on the structure, I mean the architectural model, depending on where you want to put the column is not always put with the center in the intersection of the axis. So depending on what you want to achieve, you may put eccentricity, move it to the left or to the right, upwards or downward. Okay. So if I wanted to move it to the left, then I would have put it negative. Then in that case, it will move to the right. The same goes to the eccentricity 2. So I will bring back to 0 first of all to have a center. So if I want to move this upward, okay, then I will use eccentricity 2. I will put that 50 maybe millimeter, update. Now you see they have moved upward. If I want to move it downward, then now I will have to put negative sign, then it will move downward. If I want to bring it to the center, then I will make sure in eccentricity 1 and 2 it is 0, update, then it will be in the center. Okay, so that's how you can apply eccentricity. Another way, which is a tip that I want to share with you, you can apply eccentricity by just using the arrows on your keyboard. So if you select the column, for instance, you can use the arrow key on your keyboard to apply eccentricity. Okay, you can move the column as you wish, okay, using your keyboard. Okay, all these are the new features of the latest versions. I'll open the property of the column again. Good. So far, we know how to place a column in the model. Okay. How to choose the cross-section for the square or rectangular column. Yeah. We know how to assign eccentricity. Okay. Good. So Protastructure is very flexible when coming to the geometry of the columns. So you are able to place columns which have any kind of shape. Okay. This was just a square columns. If you want to put this was rectangle. If you want to place a square, it means B1 and B2 are equal. So it's a matter of filling here, and you will have a square column. This. If you want to place a circular column, okay. If you want to place a circular column, again, take the column command. It's a matter of coming to this B1 and put the diameter of that column. Then on B2 you have to put the value 0, and then you have a circular column. Okay, so I'll repeat it. To have a circular column, you will have to use B1 and put the value. This value is the diameter of the circular column. Then B2 must be 0. If B2 is 0, automatically this will become a circular column. Good. So after placing a column, a circular column, we have placed a rectangular one, a square one. We have placed a circular one. Let's see how to place other type of columns. So if I again come to the columns, Protastructure gives us a flexibility to add other kind of columns. So if you come here, you will see this section member, the icon here at the top. This one at the top, it is called section member. Are you able to see this section member? Click on it and you will have this box. You see, you can change. You have a rectangular column here. You have a circular column. You can have this cross column. For instance, if I choose this kind of shape, okay, I can use these values to adjust the size. You can see even the label here. Okay, adjust as you wish here. B1 is from this end to this end. B2 from this end to this end, and so on. You can use this figure to figure out how the exact position of these letters here. So if everything is okay, it's set. If I click on OK, now if I place, you see now I have that shape of column. Great. We have also other kind of shapes here. Maybe another shape. Then you can come and place the column as you wish. So you can explore all of this. Can you try it? Can you try different shape and see if it is working for you on your side? If yes, then I will proceed. So take like 2 minutes and explore all those shapes of columns. Indeed, okay, can I proceed? Okay, so you see how the structure is very, very flexible when it comes to modeling of columns. Good. Then let's go on and explore the remaining parameters here. Now the next, sorry, let me open the property again. The next parameters here, okay, you see where it is written top and bottom, top and bottom. Then below you see bottom insertion points. Okay? So mainly these are just referenced grids where your column is attached. Okay, so if I check well, I have selected this column here. Okay, so at the top my column is connected on grid 4 and C. Here it is written 4, here it is written C. It means this column, grid C and grid 4. That's where my top the top of the column is attached. The same goes to the bottom. Okay, so you see the top, if the top and the bottom are the same, it means your column is straight. Okay, it's standing straight. Good. So we are going to see how to create a slant column, because so far what we have created, these 5 are only straight columns. So for you to view it very clearly, let's see so far what we have modeled in a 3D view, because you can model in 2D view and in plan view, okay, for you to understand it better. So how to open a 3D view? We have also different ways. So I will show you all of them. Then you will have to judge yourself and see the easiest one. The first one is by going to the View tab. If you go to the View tab, then here you will see where it is written 3D physical model. Not 3D river model, 3D physical model. So if you click on 3D physical model, now you will be able to open your 3D. Okay. So to navigate in a 3D view, you will use your scroll button of the mouse to zoom in and zoom out. Okay. You will use your right click and hold to rotate. Okay. To rotate, you have to click and hold the right button of your mouse. Then, by clicking and holding the scroll wheel, you will be able to pan. So that's how you can navigate in your 3D model. So this is what we have modeled so far. Were you able to open the 3D view? So in a case you want to go back to the 2D view, you see here at the top, you have two tabs. You have the plan view, where I was. I have also the 3D view. Okay? So you can go to the plan view, you can go to the 3D view. Go to the plan view, you can go to the 3D view. Good. So depending on what you want to achieve or the complexity of your project, you may also want to view the plan view and the 3D view at the same time. Okay, it is also possible. Again, it is under still this View tab here. Under these windows, I can tile my windows horizontally, for instance. If I click on horizontal, now I will be able to have the plan view at the top and the 3D view at the bottom. Okay. Or I can decide to tile them vertically. In that case, I will have the plan view on the left and the right plan, the 3D view on the right. Okay. Are we together so far? So this view, these are two different views, okay? But they are all connected together. It means whenever any change you do on one side, it will automatically reflect the other side. So again, in Protastructure, you can always model you can always choose to model in a plan view or in a 3D view. For instance, if I come here and go to the modeling tab again, select the column. Okay. So if I try to model here in a 3D view, I can place column here. You see it is placed here, and automatically in a plan view it is also placed. If I put another one here, you see it is also placed here. So you are free to work in a plan view or a 3D view. Okay, so these three columns are the ones I have placed. Okay, so if I even select them again and delete in a plan view, for instance, they must also be deleted automatically in the 3D view. So if I click on delete, click yes, you see they are gone both in plan and 3D view. So these plans are connected together. So if I want to reset the plans the way they were before, again, it is under the view tab again. Okay, instead of tiling, now I will reset. I click on reset, then I will again have one tile, okay, either for the plan view or for the 3D view. Good. Can you try on your site? Try to open a 3D view. Try to tile view so that you may have something like this. Okay. And also try to model some columns in a 3D view to see if you will be able to model in a 3D view. If everything is okay, then I will go on. So take like 2 minutes and do practices on your computer. So is everything okay? Virtual participant, I hope everything is okay so far. Okay, good. So let's go on. So let's go on and let's see the next settings in the column properties. Okay. So the next thing we are going to see is how to create a slant column. Okay. Because all these columns, as you can see, they are straight. Okay. So you can see they are all straight. So how can you model a slant column? Okay. We are going to see how to model a slant column. So I will create a. First of all, you must keep in mind that the top side of your column, the top end, okay, must be attached to the intersection of two grids. The same goes for the bottom side, okay? So it means if I want to slant a column, I may have the intersection of grids of where the bottom part will sit, and I must have intersection of grid where the top side will be fixed. So how to do so? I go to the modeling, take the column, okay, turn the column property. Make sure you do the you take the shape, okay. Then I'm going to come and place column somewhere here. Okay. Before placing this column, what I should have in mind is that when we are drawing a slant column, the top part is always fixed. Means the bottom part is the one which we will be moving. So what I'm saying is that if I place a column here, for instance, if I place a column here, for instance, okay, so it means this will be the top part. I cannot move the top part. So I will only be able to move the bottom part because I want to slant from here all the way here. So if I show you in a 3D view, it means the bottom part, this bottom part will be at this point. Okay, so it will be slanting this way. So how to do so? I will open the property of this column. Okay. All I have to do is to come and take this arrow here, this bottom insertion, select it, okay, and come and click on this point here, okay. So I will repeat it. First of all, I will have to select the column, open the property of the column so that I can have this dialog box. Then come all the way here, select this insertion, bottom insertion point. Come and click where you want to move your bottom part. Click once. If I click there, automatically you can see here that these coordinates have changed. Before it was 2D, now it has changed to 2E. It means this axis intersection, it is E and 2. After doing this, I have to update. Take a look here. If I update, take a look on this 3D column here. If I click on update, now the column have been slanted. So you see, it is oblique, it is no longer straight. Okay. So I will repeat it before we do some practices. If I want to move this column to slant it, I cannot move the top part. Only the bottom part will be moved. So how to do so? Open the property. Then using this bottom insertion method, select it. Click where you want to move the bottom side. For my case, it is this point. So I will click there. Then I will double check if the bottom part here, these coordinates have changed. Yes, they have changed. Then I will click on update. Then it will be slanted. So can you try? Can you try? Take like 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Try this. Online people, if you meet any problem, write it in the chat box. I'm going to support physical participant here. Okay. In the meantime, try to model this slant column like this. Okay, but for the physical participant, we are all okay with the slanting column. How about online people? Is everything okay on your end? Can see Romeo is okay for Romeo. I'll be okay, Daddy okay. Mariana, how about you? Can you please confirm if everything is okay? Mariana? Okay, good. Chedi? Are you there, Chedi? Chedi, we are waiting for your confirmation if everything is okay. Even Isaac. Isaac, how about you?
My side, everything is okay.
Okay, Isaac, good. So, Chedi, can you please confirm? Chedi. I think Chedi is not around. Once he comes back, maybe he doesn't know if everything is okay. So let's continue for now. Okay. So let's keep moving. I think the remaining properties here and the column property dialog box. So the next one is about the angle. Okay. As you can understand, angle is just rotating the geometry. So I'll take an example for this column here, for instance. Let me reset. Let me reset the view so that, okay, like this. So if I select this column, okay, the column 2 here, and I open the property, I'm going to change the angle. Okay, I'm going to change the angle. If I put 90, okay, you see how the column was looking like before. But if I click on update, now you see it have been rotated 90 degree. Okay. So if I put 45, click on update, then it will be rotated 45 degree. So this is simply the meaning of this angle. Okay, so you can rotate the geometry of your column as you wish. Okay. So this end release, okay, we come back to it later. It is much more concerned with the analysis rather than modeling. So I come to this later on. Allow me to go to the next tab, because this property of the column have 2 tabs. All the settings we were dealing with were under the general tab. So let's move to the geometric. This is geo. If you click there, you will see additional properties. So the first one were under general, then go to the geo. You see the other settings there. Right. So the first panel contains planes. Okay, so we have the plane at the top and the plane at the bottom. So for now we will skip this, okay, because we come back on this after learning how to create plane definitions. Okay, so for now we cannot see really the use of this, but after learning how to use these plane definitions here, that's when we come back on this too. Okay, then going down, we see this delta Z at the top and at the bottom. Okay, this will help you to elongate or shorten your column, because if I open the 3D view like this and open one of the, you can see this column. All these columns have the same length. Okay, and the length of the column is controlled by the height of the story. Okay, so by default, the column length is controlled by the length of the story. So it means, for now, I'll show you later on how to change the length of the stories. But for now, by default settings, the length of the story we are using is 3 meters. So if you check here in the structure, you see 3 meters. So it means this column have 3 meters of length. So if you want to elongate a bit or shorten a bit this column, then you have to go to its property under the geo tab. Then we will be using this delta Z. Okay, so let's start by demonstrating it using the top side here. So if I go to the delta Z top, okay, so it means I want to elongate, okay, or shorten this top part. So if I want to elongate, let's say by 1 meter, so I come to delta Z top, then put 1 meter, and then update. You see now how this column is longer than the remaining ones. So it means they have been elongated 1 meter above. So it means before it was 3 meters, now it is 4 meters. Okay, I can decide to make it shorter. So in that case, I will still use this top part, but I will put the negative side because we are going down. If I update, now it is 1 meter shorter compared to the remaining ones. Okay. So if I wanted to do these changes, but at the bottom side, in that case, I would have used the delta Z bottom. Okay. I should have used the delta Z bottom. At the bottom, it depends on what you want to achieve. If you want to bring the bottom part up, you will put a positive because you are going upward. If you want to elongate longer in the soil, then you will have to put negative. Okay. So those are the use of this delta Z. So in the model, all columns don't have always the same height. So you can deal with this delta Z to change the height of the column in case the column is not lying in a story height. Right. So let's go on with the next command, which is the drop slab patch panel. These are used when we want to put a drop panel on the column. These are mainly used when we are dealing with flat slabs where the slab don't have beams, so it is sitting directly to the top of the column. So if you want to create a panel, a drop panel, okay, for the column, then we use this. But you cannot access it directly now, because in order to have this command active, you must first of all draw slab at the top of the column. Okay, so we will not be able to directly use this command here. Right. Then the next one is the support type. The support type. Sorry. I'm not. What is the question? What is your question? Are you able to? Yeah, okay. You are under general, so you have to move. So the next one is the support type. If you click on this drop down menu, you will only see default and none. So it means the default one, this one default, it is the one which is set there. So by default, all the columns that we'll be modeling will have this kind of support. But you can always create your own type of support if you wish. So for instance, if you take a look at the bottom of my columns, all columns have this symbol. Okay, this symbol, it means it is fixed. Okay, because you know here at the bottom we will be having a pad footing, so it is fixed by now. So by default, all the columns, all the story 1 columns Protastructure they will be by default fixed. Okay. But in a scenario where you want to have another type of support, you can always create the support, then assign it to the column. So that's what we are going to see. So before assigning to the column, you have to create it. Okay? So how to create another type of support? That's what we are going to see. So it is under modeling tab. Under this modeling tab, then go to support type. You will see support type. Under tools, you will see support types. Modeling tab, go to the tools, you will see support type and click on support type. Modeling, the tools, last one. Yes, support type. Is the last one. If you go to the modeling, last one under tools, you will see support type. So this support type definition will open, and you can see we have only one type, which is default. That's why all the columns here that I have modeled have this default support. And if you check on this default, it is fixed in both directions. So if you want to create another one type of support, it's a matter of just clicking on this plus icon to create a new support. So if I click there, I will have to give it a name. Okay, let's just write hinge. Okay, you can type any name. So the purpose is that you will be able to recognize that. Okay. So if I click on this new created type of support, then I will have to define the type of support here, the restraint. So I will make it a hinge in both directions, in X, instead of being support. Then I can click on OK. So in this case, now my support type is created. Okay. So if I want to assign that support type to a given column, okay, what I will have to do, I will have to select the column where I want to apply the created support. Go to the property, all the way to the geo. Okay. Under the support type, now if I select, I will be able to see the one which I created. So if I click there and click on update, now you see the support type have changed from fixed to hinge support. Okay. That's how you can create this support. Okay, that's how you can create another kind of support and assign that support to the column. To assign is just a matter of selecting a column, go to the property, then under geometric tab, yes, you will see support type. Click there, then you will see what you have created. And remember to update. After changing, you have to remember to update. Good. That's how you can assign a support. Now let's see the last commands here. Okay. The last one is transfer member and vertical only member. These are very crucial. Okay. While modeling columns, we have transfer members. So whenever you will be modeling a transfer column, please make sure to check this. Okay. Do you all know transfer column what it is? Engineers, do you know a transfer column or a transfer member? Yes? Do you know a transfer column? What do we mean when we say transfer column? Because I was saying if you are modeling and you are modeling a transfer column, so you must check this box. So what is a transfer column? Online people, do you know a transfer column? What it means? Exactly, AB, you are right. A transfer column, here it is a column which doesn't extend all the way to the foundation. You will see most of them on verandas. So it is coming all the way up, but it is not going all the way to the foundation. It is sitting maybe on the top of the beam or on the top of the slab. So those are transfer columns. So if you are modeling those kind of columns, always you have to check this. Okay. You always have to check this transfer. If you don't do this, okay, yeah, so the distribution of loads will not be well designed, if I can say, because that transfer column is sitting on the let's say on the beam. So it is acting like a point load on the beam. So if you don't check this, then the load will not be transferred to the beam as a point. So it will be a bad modeling. So make sure that whenever you are dealing with transfer member, you have to tick this. Okay. So that was about the transfer member. Then the vertical only member. The vertical only member. You will see this when we'll be reaching on load combinations, calculations. So, you know, we do have many load cases and load combinations. We have those vertical loads. We have also the horizontal load cases as well. So if you select the column and tick vertical only member, what it means, the software will do the calculations and whatever and the design of the column, but it will only consider the vertical load cases. So it will ignore all those load combinations from the horizontal forces. If that's what you want, then in that case you have to tick this. If you don't tick, then the software will analyze and design the column considering all the types of load cases that you have. If you tick it, then in that case it will only analyze and design considering the vertical load combination cases. And that's it for the properties, all the properties of the columns. Okay, so is there any question regarding these properties or even the modeling of column? Okay, I think everything is okay. So before we proceed to the wall, to the shear wall, The last thing I want to show you on the column is how you can model an irregular column. Okay, because you remember when we were seeing these column sections, these are the only one present. So what if you want to design a column which have an irregular shape, but it is not appearing on the list here? Okay, so it is more advanced topic, but I believe that you must know how to model it. Maybe analyzing and design should be for the advanced part, but modeling is better if you know how to model such kind of columns. So how can you achieve that? Okay, so first of all, you have to draw that irregular shape that you have, the column. So let's go to the modeling. Okay, now we are going to see the use of this, the polyline that we were talking about. Okay, so use this polyline or rectangle or circle as you wish to create that irregular shape that you have. So let's suppose I have something like this. I don't know. It is something like this. It is irregular, for instance. Okay. What you have to make sure is that this is a closed loop. Okay, so you see these are just lines that I have created. If I go to the 3D view, you'll see that it's just a line that I have created. Okay. So create lines forming the irregular shape that you have. Okay. Then after creating this, then I want to make a column which have this kind of shape. Okay. So in that case, it's very simple. It's just a matter of selecting these polylines. Okay. Right click. Okay. Select. Right click. And then we'll see convert to column. If you click on convert to column and place in the center, then it will be a column instead of line. So if I go to the 3D view, now it has been transferred into a column. You can see how it is. As simple as that, you have created an irregular shape of a column. Okay, try it. Just using lines, create an irregular shape. Then select those lines, right click, convert to column. Then place the column to be placed. So remember, to place the column, you have to have the intersection of axes. Okay. That's why if I open the property of this column, you see that I must have intersection of axes for it to work. So you can see that you may do an irregular shape. You may want to do, like, let's say, something like this, maybe. So then select, right click, convert to column, then place. It will be placed. Good. So that's how you can model column. Good. So let's go on and try to work on the shear wall. So let's go on and move. We are done with the column modeling. Now let's start the wall modeling. Wall modeling is similar to the column with a small difference. Okay, so let's go again to model the shear wall or the wall, the masonry, the concrete wall. Let's go to the modeling, then take a command for the wall. Again, you will have a property dialog box related to the wall. So, in order to draw a wall, you must have intersection of axes at the starting point of the wall. You must also have intersection of axes at the end of the wall. Okay? So it means if the wall is starting here and ending somewhere here, it is starting here, it is ending here. So I must have intersection of axes at this starting point. I must have intersection of axes at the end points. So in that case, I can draw from the starting all the way to the ending, then the wall will be created. Okay, simply like that. So for instance, if I start a wall somewhere here, I cannot end it in the middle here. See, it will give me a warning. Okay? So that's because at the end here, there is no intersection of axes. Okay, so if I go to the 3D view, you will see the wall created like this, shear wall. It's okay to walk. Good. So let's go on with the. Let's take a look at the property then of the shear wall here. Okay. So the property are almost similar to the columns, to those of columns. Okay. If you check the label, is the labeling as we had for the column, 1 meaning the story 1, W meaning that it's a wall member, then this one meaning it is the first wall in this story. Then this will be the section. This will be the length of the wall. This will be the width. So it means from here all the way to here, it is around 2 meters something. Then from here all the way to here, it is 250 millimeter, the width. Okay. Then LN story, the length of story, we have skipped this for the column as well, because we'll be seeing it after knowing how to create other stories, other floors. So I will do the same for the walls for now. Now we have B. B, it is the width, the distance from this corner here all the way to this one. So the width of the beam, of the wall. So it is 200. So if I change and put 300 and update, you see it have been updated as well. Okay, so it is just this. Then we have E, which is eccentricity. You are already aware of eccentricity. We have talked about it on the column side. So again, if I put 50 as eccentricity and click on update, you see how the wall have shifted upward here. Okay, so you see the center of the wall is no longer aligned with this grid because I have put it eccentricity. If I bring it back to 0, then the centroid of the wall will line with the center of this axis, which is good. If I put a negative value, then it will shift downward. So I will bring it back to 0, update. Okay. Now here we have extension at the I end and J end. This is very crucial. You have to know that on these horizontal members like this wall, like a BIM, we will be having the I end and the J end. So the I end, it is the starting point. The J end, it is the ending point. So this will be the I, because it was the starting point, and this will be the J. Okay? So you can see here in the table that at the I and J end, I have intersection. Okay. I mean, I have extension, which is to 125 millimeter. Okay. So what does this mean? It is an extension from the end of the axis. Okay. Because this was the intersection of the axis was supposed to be this center. But you see there is a distance here, an extension which have been created. This extension, it is the length is here. So if I put 0, for instance, and update, you see now I no longer have an extension from the grid, but still here at the J end, I do have extension. If I come to the J end, put 0, update, now I no longer have the extension. So that's the meaning of these extensions. Okay. Can decide to move them or put them depending on the scenario that you have. So let's try to, I will delete this and I will create wall again. Okay, with those extensions, I will create one wall here and I will create another one here. Okay. But I'm going to remove those extensions. Okay. So to demonstrate how it will look like, I will select this. I will remove also these extensions. You see how how the intersection is here, because this vertical wall is ending at this grid, no extension. The same goes to this. So you see there is like a small gap here. So if I go to the 3D view, you see how the connection is looking like. Okay. However, if I put those extensions, on this, and I put it on this as well, update. Now in the 3D view, you see how the connection is. Okay. So by default, when you take a wall command, it automatically comes with the extension. Okay, so and the extension is a half of the width. Okay. But you always have the flexibility to manipulate it as you wish. Okay. Is it okay with the wall so far? Okay. So online people, is it okay so far? Yes, good. So good. I see that everything is okay so far. Can you please try? Okay. Try to model a slant wall. I didn't demonstrate how to model a slant wall, but it is almost the same as what we did for the column. So can you try? Do it as an exercise. Okay. Model one wall. Okay. Then try to slant it like we had this column. See, this column is not straight; it is slanted. So try to take one of the wall here and make it slant. Okay. Try to make a slant column. You can see there is a question online. Yes, it is okay, but what happens if some overlap seems to appear? So that's how it appear in the modeling. It's like there is an overlap. So I will show you in a session to come how you can combine these two walls and make them like one single core wall. So I will demonstrate it, Mr. Chedi. Okay, in a few minutes. So please, for now, try to create a slant shear wall. Okay, good. Try and see if you will be able to figure out. Let's take like 5 minutes and try to model it. People online, who were you able to do that? Some here physically were able, others not. It's okay. So let's try to demonstrate it. Okay. So to create a slant, take a look here. To create a slant wall. So it is almost similar to the column. All you have to do is just to understand, first of all, that this wall must be lying in on an axis. It means at the starting point we must have the section of axis, and at the end point. So select just the wall, open the property of the wall. Okay. Then you will see here we have information about the top end and the bottom end. The top end on the I and J end. Okay, so this will not change because you know the top part will never change. Only the bottom part will change. So again, you have to use this arrow. This bottom is an arrow. Okay, select it. So the only difference between a wall and column, the column we had to pick the intersection of axis, but the wall we have only to pick one axis. Okay, no need to pick the intersection. So if I pick one axis, now you see it has changed here. If I click on update, you see it have been slanted. If I open the 3D view, now you see, let me delete this for a better view. Now you see it have been slanted. Okay, that's what you had to do. Okay, so I will repeat it again. So I have to select the wall, right click, open the property. Then using this bottom insertion point here, I have to click on it once. And then instead of selecting the two corners here, I will just select only one axis where the bottom part will move to. Then click on update. Then I will have a slant column. Okay. Shady, you managed to create a slant shower. Yeah, that's good. Congratulations. Romeo, you were not, but I think now you have seen how you can create a slant column. Okay. So try it on your computer and see if it is feasible. So if it is okay, so let's go on with the remaining part. So I will take shear wall. I will create another shear wall here. So as we have seen for the column, you can use this. You can extend this shear wall upward or downward. Okay. So can you try it? Take this shear wall that you have here and extend it by 2 meters. So if I click like, yeah, it will be 2 meters above here. So can you try to extend the top side of this shear wall to 2 meters? Right. You remember how we have shortened this column? Remember? It is the same way. It is the same scenario, but do it for the shear wall. Try. So were you able to create, to elevate, to stretch upward this shear wall? People here in the room who were able to elongate? Here I see very well. Yes. Online people, good. So they were able to elevate it. Here physically also few people did it, but it is the same. So again, if I open the property of the shear wall, again I have the geometric tab. I have also the general tab and the geometric tab. Okay. So if you use this geo tab, you will have the delta Z. Okay. So it's a matter of filling delta Z and elevate the top part. Okay. So I'm going to elevate top part by 2 meters at A, at I, and 2 meters at J. Then if I click on update, now it will be elongated like this. If I only elevate one part, now I will have this kind of shape. Okay. So you see, you can manipulate it as you want. I may put maybe 1 meter only. So it will be looking like this. So you can change the I and J end as you wish. You can do the same for the bottom side if that's what you want to achieve. Okay. So I will bring back them to 0. Update. So I will have the normal one like this. Good. Let me check if there is any patient online. Okay, nothing. Okay, good. So going back to the properties of wall, the remaining properties are similar to the one we saw on column. So if you want to assign another type of support, you can do so. If this shear wall is a transfer member, you can activate a transfer member. Okay. Good. Then we have a drop panel. If this shear wall is carrying a flat slab and you want to put a drop panel, then you have to use this. But we will not be able to see it now because you must first of all have created the slab at the top. Okay, so that's it. The last thing here is default here. You can set the use of the wall. We'll come back to this when we will be reaching the analysis part. Okay. So I think we have covered all the settings for the shear wall as well. So the last thing we have to see regarding the wall, it is to create openings in the wall, because maybe if you are dealing with, let's say, an elevator shaft, you have to create an opening for the doors for the elevator. So let's see how to create openings in the walls. So to create the openings, again, you have to, whenever you can do this in a 3D view or in a plan view. Okay, so you have seen that in Protastructure 10.5, you are free to model in any view that you wish. Okay, so how to achieve that? Let me do this in a 3D view. If you select a wall and you right click, you will see wall opening editor. Okay, you see wall opening editor here. If you select it, wall opening the editor, you have something like this. You can achieve it again by selecting a wall, and here at the top, you will again see wall opening editor. Then again, if you click there, you will be able to see your wall opening editor. Right? So if you are here, then it's a time to create wall, openings. So this is just a preview of the wall that we have. Okay, you can see the height and the length of the wall. And for now, it is a solid wall. There is no opening yet here. So to create an openings, you have to click on this add button here at the bottom. Okay. Click on this add button. If you click on it once, the wall, the openings will be created here inside, and we'll have some dimensions here. Okay, you have these values here at the top, which will help you to control the size and the position of the opening. Okay, so simply this W, the starting one, this value, first column here, the W, it is the width of your opening. It means from this corner to this corner is 1 meter by default. Then we have H, which is the height of the opening, means from this corner to this corner here. This is H. Then we have X and Y, which are the values to change the position of your opening. It means X, always this point here will be taken as 0, 0. So in Protastructure, I have already mentioned that always the bottom left corner is the reference, bottom left corner. So if this is 0, 0, so the distance from this 0, 0 all the way to where the opening is starting will be X, and from this point all the way up to where the opening is starting it will be Y. So for instance, if I want to put like let's say it's a door having maybe 1 meter with having, let's say, 2 meter 20 for the height. Okay, see it is changing. Then the position in X, it will be, let's leave it the way it is. The position in Y direction, then it will be 0, so that the opening is starting at the ground. So I will be having something like this. Okay, so you see the preview here. If that's what you want, if that's okay, then click on OK. Now you see your opening here. Right. Another thing here, it's not you can add many openings. It is not mandatory to have only one opening. So if I want to adjust the openings that I have created, I have to select the wall again, go back to wall opening editor. Okay, so I can add another kind of openings. Okay, so it's a matter of adjusting this so that these openings are not overlapping. Okay, so then adjust. If everything is okay like this, click OK. Now we have something like this. So it depends on how you want to model your openings, so you can add as many as possible. So try to add openings and let's see the result. Try. Okay, so is there any question here online? how to make a circular opening. So a circular opening are not supported in Prota yet. Okay, only those kind of square openings. So there is a question here in the class. Okay, they are asking on this wall. Okay, so you remember these openings 1, we have put it y to be 0. So it was supposed to be starting here at 0. So if I go back to opening, you remember for this one, y is 0. So it is supposed to be starting where the wall is starting. So they're asking why is it in there is a distance here. Okay, why not this opening is not starting all the way here? Is there anyone with a solution and input? Why this opening is starting somewhere from the base? Okay, is there an input? Okay, so let me explain it so it may be clear for everyone. When we are modeling the story 1, these ground elements here, okay, so they are being modeled with the ground part included, underground part. Okay, so it means if I select this column, so it is from this top level all the way somewhere here, and it is directly connected to the sub column as well. Okay, so if I try to maybe to show you, if I try to activate story 0, okay, you see where the grids have moved. Okay, so it means here where the grids are, it is the ground level. Okay, it's the ground level, if I can say. Okay, so it means all the part which is below these grids are there under the soil. Okay, so if it is a foundation part, yes. So if you check well, this opening is lying directly with the grid, which means it is at 0, 0. So the remaining part, it is the part which is under the soil. Okay, it is the foundation part. So that's why. Okay, that's why we're seeing. It seemed like the opening was suspended somehow, but it wasn't. This is the reason behind. Good. So if you come back to the wall opening, you see it is from 0. All right, any other question? Is there any questions so far in the house or online? So if there is no other question, I will, before we go to the exercise part and conclude today's session, rectangular square. Okay, so if there is no question online as well, okay, I would like to confirm if everyone here physical attendees and the virtual attendees. If you are all in the WhatsApp group that were created, are you all in the WhatsApp group? You who are physical, even the online people. If there is someone who is not in the WhatsApp group, it is a new created one called Protastructure Training. Morogoro. Yeah. Because we will be sharing some exercise in those WhatsApp. Yeah, that's okay. And there is the recorded videos for those who are virtual. So they will be passing through the WhatsApp group. So make sure that you are all in the WhatsApp group. So before we go on, I want you to to do a summary of what we have covered so far from the morning, because what we are supposed to cover today are covered, except the exercise that we are going to do in a few minutes. But before going for the exercise, I want to summarize what we have seen so far from the morning. Okay. First of all, we have seen how to open a new project with a desired template. Okay. After seeing how to open a project, we have seen how you can set some settings if you wish, okay, because some people prefer to do the settings before starting modeling. Others prefer to go through the settings before going for the analysis. So it's up to you. Then you have seen how you can go for the modeling using these two commands, how you can model axis or grids. By using this first one, we have seen how you can either model a single segment axis, how you can model a multi-segment axis, and how you can also model the curved axis. Okay? You are all aware of this. Then we have also seen how to create axis using octagon axis generator, where you can create a set of axis system within a few clicks only, instead of doing it manually by offsetting or moving and whatever. Then later on, after seeing how to model grids, we have gone on how to model columns. Okay, how to model columns. I've seen how to model rectangular columns, how to model square columns, how to model other type of regular columns, okay, like circular one, this L shape, and so on. After that, we have seen how to model a irregular shape of column. Okay. Then, of course, you have gone through all the settings within the column dialog box. How to set the section of the columns, how to manipulate the eccentricity of the column, how to create slant columns, how to rotate a column. We have seen how to elongate or shorten the column using the delta Z, and how to create and assign different type of support to the column. Then later on, we went to the wall, where we have seen also how to create a straight wall as well as how to create a slant wall. Under the wall settings, we have covered every parameters here, even under the geo, the same as what we saw on the column. In addition to this, we have seen how you can manipulate and insert walls, openings in the walls. Okay, so that was what we covered so far, and that what was planned to be covered. Okay, so that was what was planned to be covered today. Okay, for the day one. So it is better if you go knowing what we have to cover tomorrow, so that you may have a clear picture of how the training is going on. So tomorrow we'll cover structural beams in the morning, okay? How to model beams. Then we will go and have a little bit introduction on the load combinations, because it is very important to talk about it before going to the slab, because in these latest versions of the software, okay, like in Protastructure 2025, before starting modeling the slab, you should first of all set the load combinations. So we will see it tomorrow. Then we will see how to work with plane definitions and modeling staircases. Okay, tomorrow. Then after lunch break, we will be creating other stories. So remember what we have done today. We only worked with story one. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be creating other stories here. Okay, then so we'll be having modeling exercises if times allow. So that's what we'll cover tomorrow. Okay. So that's it. So before we go for the exercise that you have to conduct, I will have to have your feedback before. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we want you to have a good experience with the learning and to make sure that you understand what is being taught. So I would like to have your feedback on the teaching method that I'm using. So is everything understandable? Am I explaining it well? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Okay. Am I boring in the class? Okay. So it will help me to understand how the training is going on and how what I should maybe correct tomorrow, so that you may have a good experience with the training. So online people, I will start with you. If there is someone who have any inputs, maybe you can open your mic and let us know, or you can even type in the chat box. Online people, so I need to hear from you, so please. Even here physically, if there is someone who has something to say, feel free. Is there something I should improve tomorrow in the tomorrow sessions? Okay, online people, how about you? Romeo, Isaac, Mariana, Daddy. I want to hear from you, please.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think everything is okay. I'm Mariana.
Okay.
Yeah. The speed is fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you are Mariana, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it is good if for the online people everything is okay. So you have seen what we will cover tomorrow. So be prepared, and we will stay in touch. I'm also in the WhatsApp group, so maybe even after the training session, if you have some question, just type it in the WhatsApp group. I will be answering your question. Engineer Romeo, I think everything is fine. Okay, thank you. But I have a little question about navigation system Protastructure. So, Romeo, navigation system, you mean rotating and dragging, something like that? So if it is about the navigation, I will a bit explain. So if you are in a 3D view, like I am now, if you want to rotate, so you have to right click on your mouse, right click and hold, okay, click and hold, then rotate. So you can rotate. Okay? That is rotating. Just click the right, click the right button, hold, then move. You will be rotating. So if you want to drag, okay, so you will have to click and hold the scroll button of your mouse, then you will have to drag. Okay. Then if you want to zoom in and zoom out, you will use your scroll button. Good. Like this. So shifting from the 3D view to the plan view, you will see these two tabs here. So if you are in a 3D view, it will be activated like this. So if you want to move to the plan view, just click on plan, then we will have your plan. Good. So you may have only one, something like this. Only you have one, only plan view, you don't have 3D view. So if you want to activate the 3D view, go to the view tab here, click there, then you'll be able to open the 3D physical model. So if you click there now, you see the 3D will open. Okay. So the same scenario goes when you have 3D view, you don't have a plan view. Again, you go to the view tab. If you click on plan, now you'll be able to open the plan view. So if both are open, then you can navigate from one window to another. So if you want to tide view, so it means you want to see these both view at the same time. It is again under the view tab here. Then you have to tide. You can tide horizontally to have some, the 3D view on the top, the plan view on the bottom. You can tide vertically to have one on the left and another on the right. Okay. If you want to reset everything, you can use this reset. And again, you will come back to these two windows like we had before. So that's the navigation. So I don't know if I have answered your question. Let me check. Okay, so that was the navigation. So I think I have answered your question. If not, let me know. Okay. So conclude, this is the end of our today's sessions. So I'm going to put we are remaining with only around 30 minutes left. So it is for you to do some exercises and see where you have a downside so that you can know how to correct. So that's why I'm leaving these 30 minutes so that you can go through all we have learned today. Okay. And if you have maybe you may have personally even a drawing, architectural structure drawing, you can start trying to imitate, to do something like the one you have, to see if you'll be meeting challenges. Okay. Good. Yeah. So, David, are you around?
Yes, you can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that this will be the end of today's session. We are left with around 25 minutes. So this 25 minutes will be for those participants to rework on what we have seen from the morning. And if maybe they meet any challenge, they will text in the WhatsApp group and I will be around to answer the questions. So I can say that on my side, this is the end. If there is nothing else on your side, then we can close today's session.
Thank you so much, instructor. I guess, yes, this could be a very good opportunity for them to start exercising, but I would like to emphasize that tomorrow, 9 sharp, we are studying. So for people who are online who joined in late, please make sure that tomorrow you join in at time.
Okay.
I guess we can leave the instructor. I guess we can leave this on until 6. If no one has a question or a problem, then I'll automatically end the meeting at
Okay.
6. No, at 5. Sorry, at 5.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.